This victim did nothing except get off the bus in a dangerous area.
He had a broken arm, broken knee, and facial injuries. He is still in the hospital this afternoon.
A neighbor's smoke alarms went off because of this fumes coming out of the RV. That same day, another neighbor witnessed the occupant of the RV come out in like full hazmat gear, hand a bag of white powder to a man who took off on a bike.
Cops to walk with the kids, escort them to the bus stops after school.
The World Cup is coming to Seattle this summer, and the whole world is about to show up. And right now, we see a 77-year-old man still in the hospital bed because he got off the bus and he was attacked for no reason. Meanwhile, the mayor is looking to do more audits and ducking reporters' questions. Let's get into it.
Prosecutors, but also defense too, because it can clear somebody just as much as it can show wrongdoing.
The victim laid on the ground as people walked by. He had a broken arm, broken knee, and facial injuries. Investigators say he had just gotten off the bus when he was attacked at random.
You know, think of how many people ride the buses and should be safe when they get off those. We're really fortunate that we had cameras to protect this bus rider and other people in the public.
These cameras have been online for about a year.
We're short-staffed. This gives us the edge.
Seattle Police Officers Guild President Kent Liu says this is a clear example of the benefit these cameras provide.
The technology is impressive. The quality is incredible. But here you have a completely unprovoked attack. This victim did nothing except get off the bus in a dangerous area. These people absolutely need to be held accountable.
All he did was get off the bus. That's really the whole story. 77-year-old man with a broken arm, broken knee, facial injuries, still laid up in the hospital because he had the audacity to use the public transportation in Seattle. And we're all supposed to just pretend and act like this is okay? Look, here's what actually happened. The cameras caught it. The footage goes public, and within 3 hours, somebody in Redmond calls the police and say they recognize the second suspect, arrest them the same day. I think both of them are in jail right now. So you say the system worked, but barely, because of a random citizen that saw this on the news. Here's the thing that police officer just told you right there out loud. His department is short-staffed. These cameras have only been online for a year, and the person whose entire job is to make sure that 77-year-old man can get off the bus in her city without getting jumped, she is stalling. She's talking about audits, talking about balance, while this man is still in the hospital bed. The World Cup is coming to Seattle this summer. International eyes, millions of visitors, and Katie Wilson hasn't figured out how to protect the people who already live here. How well you think things are going to go in the summer? Real quick, before we keep going, and this actually connects because what we just showed you is what happens when the systems fail the people who need them the most. And honestly, Medicare does the same thing. Every day, seniors get steered into plans that pay the aged more, not plans that actually fit them. It's a legal hustle, and most people don't even know it's happening. That's why I tell people about Chapter. Chapter is the only Medicare advisor that compares every plan nationwide. Their advisors are salaried, not commissioned, so they have zero reason to push you towards the wrong plan. Your doctors, your prescriptions, your budget. That's all they're looking at. Last year, seniors who switched plans with Chapter saved the average of $1,100 on healthcare costs. $1,100. If you're already on the right plan, they'll tell you that as well. Free call under 20 minutes. That is 570-906-8018. Link will be in the description and the pinned comment below. All right, let's get back to Seattle.
The mayor is essentially trying to protect the downtown tourist corridor. That's like 3rd and Pine, 3rd and Pike. It's, this square radius, and all the problems like the open air drug use, the homelessness, it's being pushed out into the neighboring areas like Chinatown ID, Belltown. So I wanted to show you sort of the ecosystem, the drug addicts, the dealing, the tents that are here in Belltown. It's going to be so beautiful. Then you walk, or we're going to have to drive in this case, 5 minutes to Chinatown ID, and then you're going to see hell on earth.
So this plan I've seen happen in many cities across the country when they have a major event coming to their neck of the woods. So Seattle's plan for the World Cup is not to really fix the problem. It's more about moving the problem somewhere so the people who show up, the tourists, won't see it. They hand them all a map, tell the visitors which routes to take, which ones to avoid, keep it cute for the cameras. They did the exact same thing for the NBA All-Star game. And what happened, as he said, Chinatown businesses got completely cut off from foot traffic, probably lost thousands, probably millions of dollars, completely devastated. Now, those same businesses are minutes away from this field where the World Cup is going to be played, every single match. And they're watching Mayor Katie Wilson prep the same play that happened in the previous mayorship. So this is not a solution. A map that tells you where not to look. And as you guys already seen this footage, but it's still important to remind ourselves what's going on here, where reporter is asking asking a very straightforward question. I don't think it's necessarily a gotcha or a trap question. It's a basic public policy question about the cameras that solve crimes. They solved that brutal attack on a senior citizen. And then you have the junior staffer stepping in and as if he's the mayor. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We have some issues here where people are complaining. The residents, the parents, the teachers, all complaining about what's going on here. I mean, Wilson herself had to basically duck a shooting at one of her conferences. I mean, this is the mayor of the city that's going to host the World Cup. She has to do better than this. Let's talk about this full audit that she's talking about, the balance between privacy and public safety. Look, I'm not anti-privacy. I understand the concerns. But as you can see from the situation that happened a couple of days ago, the cameras are working. Either police officers talking about the results say so. A tip came in 3 hours because someone saw this footage on the news. The technology is important. It's impressive. So Wilson's response to all this is talking about we're going to study it. Seattle is short-staffed. The cameras give law enforcement an opportunity. It gives them an edge. So while she's commissioning audits, who's going to protect the next 77-year-old person getting off the bus? Someone who's going to be someone's grandfather, someone's grandmother. Who is going to be there to protect them? Is it going to be the mayor?
Well, people tell Como News that the park bathrooms have been trashed with drug paraphernalia left in it and outside, along with people being passed out within the park. They say all of their calls to the city have fallen flat.
It is baffling how hard it is to get a hold of a public official in the city of Seattle.
Baffling. Not frustrating, not disappointing, baffling. Like they truly cannot process how far City Hall is from what's happening on their block. And what's happening on their block, they have RVs next to the playground since the fall of 2025. Drug deals on video, middle of the day. Neighborhood smoke alarm is going off with the fumes that's coming out of this RV. And then I need you to really hear this. Someone walks out of this RV in a full hazmat suit and hands a bag of white powder to a man on a bike in front of a park where children play. These people are doing real life Breaking Bad stuff happening right now. And the city's response, they sent an outreach team 18 times since February, connected 2 people to the shelter, 2 people in 18 visits. Meanwhile, parents are out there just trying to avoid this park because they can't take their kids there anymore. Parents are changing their walking routes in her own neighborhood because City Hall is somewhere else entirely. This is not a housing debate. This is not a privacy debate. This is not even a political debate at this point. This is a leadership crisis, full stop.
And near 12th and Jackson, parents, teachers, been complaining now for years. And instead of addressing this and completely getting rid of this, the compromise now is for cops to walk with the kids, escort them to the bus stops after school. So obviously just a Band-Aid solution.
This is where we are right now. Children now need a police escort just to reach their bus stop after school. This is the situation on the ground in Seattle. This is not a war zone. This is a city that's about to host the World Cup, one of the biggest sporting events on the planet. And the solution for keeping kids safe on their walk to school using public transportation is to assign cops as crossing guards. The open air drug market near this high school has been ignored for years. People have complained, parents, teachers, the residents. And the city's answer is just to use cops to walk the kids out. That is not a solution. That's making the optics survivable enough to get through another news cycle. The problem is still there. The dealers are still there. The drugs are still there. There's the World Cup summer coming, and kids need escorts to catch the bus. And Mayor Katie Wilson wants. This is a real problem here. This is present tense. This is not a warning. That's not a projection. People and businesses are leaving Seattle. And that spring survey of the Association of Washington Business Members found that 91% have hit pause on expansion because of state policy. 91%. That is not some just fringe group reaction. And what did Katie Wilson do when she had a chance to address business concerns directly? Also, we remember when asked about wealthy people leaving the city, she basically made a joke and said bye. So both of those moments are national headlines now. This is a problem. When elected officials wave goodbye to the job base and the tax base, there are real consequences for real people, not just executives, for the workers, for the tax revenue that funds the shelters and the outreach teams and those surveillance cameras that she won't commit to expanding. It's all connected. You cannot fund the city when you're chasing away the people who make the most money. You can't protect the residents while you're busy trying to perfect you're a terrorist map. So let me bring this all back. We have a 77-year-old man that got off the bus, randomly attacked, broken arm, broken knee, facial injuries, still in the hospital. This reminds me a lot of what's going on in New York City. I tell you, with Mayor Katie Wilson and Mayor Manami, they're basically the same person. And good thing that these cameras, even though 1 year old, they're barely online, caught both of those suspects. And Katie Wilson, when asked directly about this program that can solve this case in many cases, no, we need a full audit. We need balance. Meanwhile, people in Greenwood can't use their own park. Mothers are rerouting themselves away from looking at drug deals. Kids are getting escorted by police to the bus stop. What are we doing? I mean, and all this is happening where the city hall is quietly designing a tourist map so the World Cup visitors won't see any of the nonsense. This is a city Katie Wilson is running right now, and instead of answering no questions about it, her staff is telling reporters to stay on topic, don't ask her the hard questions. At this point, Katie Wilson has a choice. Either lead or don't. Get in front of the camera or don't. Protect the elderly on the bus, the mothers with their children, or the kids just trying to get home from school. Protect those people or don't. Either way, we're going to be watching and seeing what's going to happen, especially with the summer, with the World Cup coming here. So we'll see if Katie Wilson makes the right decisions. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.